Bill Voelker, and my title is Director of, what is my total title? Town Planner and Director of Community Development. Communication skills have to be really good. And let me say that I think it's not just your ability to speak to people that's important, but it's your ability to learn how to listen effectively. That's the real tricky part. And the way you develop that skill is to do a lot of things that are unfamiliar.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid, to be in a room with people talking about things that you don't quite understand yet. The real tricky part is to learn, you can hear what people say, but to be really good at this, you have to learn what they don't say. You have to learn how to communicate to each group differently, because they all listen in different ways, and they all expect to hear things in different ways. So it's really understanding the roles of all these groups and learning how to communicate with them effectively. Even sometimes on a controversial matter, and you're going to have to learn how to stand there and present a position, review a criticism, whatever it is. And you're going to have to answer questions. Sometimes you have to expect to be under fire. But you have to learn how to do that. Well, obviously, it's the fundamentals of good planning are what shape communities, what can influence quality of life for people everywhere, and it's pretty diverse too. I mean, you think about it. All of the things that we enter into are pretty exciting. A lot of different people, but I've also been able to be involved in some decisions and processes that have meant something in terms of how my communities, you get to work on some pretty cool stuff. Like you may go somewhere and help them acquire a piece of open space along a ridge line somewhere. I've done that. I've had shopping centers approved too, but sometimes the ridge line's a lot more fun, more interesting. And maybe there's a trail up there that would have maybe portion of the project or portion of the property may have been developed someday. Instead, you're helping preserve and protect it. Maybe, like I said, maybe it's a ridge line through the community you get to work in. All of a sudden, people will remember that you did that, and more importantly, you'll remember that you did that, and you remember what it took to do that, and that can be a lot of fun. It's important on a day-to-day basis to remember that the public should have a right to participate and have a right to say things and have a right to be involved. You got to protect due process. It's really important. The thing about the public is they know more things than we do. Who are on the ground, who live in the communities, they know the towns. They live right next to these sites that are going to be developed, and they can tell you things that you won't otherwise know. And you always want to respect them. You want to respect their right and ability to come and talk to you and offer criticisms, and you got to listen to them. You should be willing to listen to those things. I hate public hearings, not because I don't want to hear them. Sometimes it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. You're like, it gets to you. But I will tell you that it's rare that you don't hear something that you wouldn't have otherwise heard.
Yeah.
So as much as I go home and be with my family and go to bed, sometimes, Mr. McGillicuddy will get up and he'll talk to you about something and you would have otherwise known. These are older New England communities with a land use pattern that's well established. Right? Usually before we had zoning regulations, right? What's on the ground has usually very little to do with zoning regulations, more to do with original settlement patterns, including farms, farm roads, marketplaces, and lots of other things. And so now all of a sudden it's like, we want to improve the economic base. The problem in Connecticut is that our well-being is tied to a strong economic base, because that's our principal tax revenues come from that. There's no local income tax in Connecticut, so the municipalities, while we do get some support from the state, we're really dependent upon property tax. So the challenge then is to try to maintain reasonable growth in your economic base and maintain community character. And a municipal plan, a local planner has to be the defender of the comprehensive plan. No matter what anybody else promises, you have to remain a defender of the comprehensive plan. So stick to your training. Make sure there's adequate public participation when anybody's going to change the plan. And the implementation of the plan also requires public participation. Stick to your training, stick to what you know is correct ethically, and as far as good planning goes, don't let the fools tell you what to do. You stick to what it is that you know is important for your community. When do we go home and sleep at night? You know, well, in part is that you're consistent throughout your career, and like I said, you rely on good practice, that you don't waver, that you try to grow, that you're well respected by your people. You're always honest. Like I said, you don't worry about what you said to somebody as long as you keep saying what's true and you just keep saying it over again, right? You stick to good practice, if you stick to your training, and I mean that sincerely, okay? Those are the things that are going to help you shape your career. Those are the things that are going to help you earn respect from people, no matter what. You'll still get criticized. Stick to what you know is important. Communicate it effectively. Make sure the public participates, has a right to know, and that's all you can do.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to get rich and famous in this business. You're just not. But it can be really rewarding